This is episode number 9 with Belle Brockhoff.
So let's go. I'll follow wherever you go, 'cause you're...
Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of the Inventions Show, a podcast about all things invention and reinvention, where entrepreneurs, world-class athletes, leaders and experts in their field today share their story of triumphs and challenges in both life and business. My name is Tacklee, entrepreneur, investor, inventor and host of this show. Now today I'm honoured to have an Olympian on the show and super excited to be speaking with her, Belle Brockhoff, Australian Snowboard Cross Champion with 2 Olympics behind her and winner of 4 World Cups. Now, not only that, she's also made history twice, by being the first Australian woman to win a Snowboard Cross World Cup medal and also the first to win a gold medal in the 2015-16 season in Spain. So without further ado, welcome to the show, Belle, and thanks so much for being with us.
Oh, thanks for having me on.
That's awesome. Now, Belle, the first thing I'd like to ask all my guests, for those who are not familiar with yourself, is can you please give us a window into your background, who you are, and what was your first job?
First job, oh, wow. Okay, well, my background is growing up, I've been all over the place. So, I was born in Melbourne. I was there for a year and then I moved to Byron Bay with my family and I spent 10 years there. And then we moved back down to Melbourne for a year and then back down to Dramana for 12 years. And then now I'm back in Melbourne for the last 5 years. So a bit of chop and change and a lot of different schools I've been to. So yeah, and I started skiing when I was 3 years old, started snowboarding when I was 10. And, as I got older and older, I started working on the family farm and that was fun. I'm here.
That's cool. So, as a snowboarder myself, Belle, far away from your level, I must add, one of the things that drove me to snowboarding, was the adrenaline, switching from skis to snowboard. So out of interest, what was your driver and sort of what drove you to go into snowboarding?
Well, my mum got a snowboard when I was 9 years old and I got really jealous. So she made a deal with me as like, look, get to level 1 in ski school, which is the highest level, and then I'll get you a snowboard. So I did that and the next year I got a snowboard when I was 10 and I haven't looked back since. I've always thought it's the coolest sport ever. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is. It's better than skis. That's sort of one of the reasons why I swapped as well. So that's awesome. Now, your achievements, Belle, to date is simply incredible. I'm just curious, do you have a switch, and if so, what is that switch where you flick something on and it gets you in the zone just before a big event?
Sorry, could you just repeat that or just drop it out really quickly?
Yeah, no, all good. Now, just curious if you've got a switch of some sort, where something that you switch on just before, a big event that gets you into the zone.
It's that routine, like before I drop for a race lap or whatever it may be, even if it's a training lap on the race course, I'll do my own little routine. And that's just before I hop into the gates. I'll do my routines, just get the blood pumping, get the heart rate up, get everything nice and warm. And then I'll go to the start gate and then just buckle up, strap in, and then kind of focus and bring my attention into the moment, into now, so that I can focus on what I need to do. So I find sometimes when I'm a bit distracted, I'll look up and look around, especially if it's a clear day. I'll look out and take my focus out of the track and look at all the mountains around me, because we don't often travel and see amazing places. So, that just takes my attention away and then I'm able to draw it back into what I need to do.
Oh, that's cool. So out of all the events that you've been involved in, Belle, which has been the most challenging, for you to date? And why? And on the other side, which has been the most fulfilling?
Just accepting, not so much the race, It was at a race when it happened. It was when I did my ACL for the first time, and I was coming in as favourite to win the world champs. And I had to accept that I wasn't going to win that day because I'd done my ACL. So a lot of disappointment that day, but yeah, like I didn't think it was going to push me in a direction where I was going to learn a lot of things. And most satisfying would be my first podium back after the ACL and rehab and surgeries, and just coming back after 2 years, like getting back onto that podium again was quite the relief.
That's cool. Now I've got a couple of questions about your injuries a bit later, but have you, just out of interest, have you ever measured the speed or know how fast you've actually been going down a mountain on a snowboard?
I've done it once when I think I was about 19, and we went 106 around then. Yeah. So 106 k's per hour, but we rarely reach that speed on track. It's probably like 40 to 80 kilometers more so.
That's still pretty quick on the board. So that's just wondering, Belle, does fear or risk ever come into play and bother you? Or does it drive you? With what goes through a champion's mind like yourself, as you rocket down the mountain, does that ever come into play, or is it something that you just switch off?
Well, the more you train something, the more you become comfortable with it. And then you kind of go for a step further from that. So as an example, hitting a jump, first time's scary, and then you just get used to it. And then as you progress, you start adding different things in, like whether it's a spin, backflip, other tricks to get you more comfortable in the air at that height and speed. So you have that progression. As far as facing fear, that first go, it depends on the athlete. Like for me, like I try and embrace fear as much as possible, because if you fight it, then that becomes a much bigger risk than what you're about to approach. So you can't let fear get into your head, and that's definitely what I did my first ACL, which we'll talk about later on. But you have to embrace it, you have to utilize it, and I just approach a feature, I look at it, I'm a bit nervous, I won't look at other athletes who haven't hit it yet. I'll look at athletes who have just hit it and I feel confident in their riding, and then make a judgment call, and then I'll try and go for it as soon as possible, because the longer you wait, the more fear will take a hold of you, and you don't want that.
Yeah, that's true. Embrace risk. I love that. Embrace it. Yeah. Now, just going back a bit, talking about your ACL injury, Belle. So, not mentioning the many bumps and bruises I'm sure you've had along the way, you've also had, multiple knee injuries to date and have undergone, surgery. So can you please share, those moments, especially the one, the second Winter Olympics in 2018 where you competed without an ACL? What was your thought process there, and initial thoughts in terms of, push yourself past the fact that you're not 100% and you're competing, on basically the world stage?
Yeah. When I first did my ACL, there was all these different emotions, and I had to make a decision that day on whether I go for it or do a proper rehab and come back at the next Olympic Games. Which is something that I didn't want to do, and a lot of people who do qualify for the Games don't often get that opportunity. Olympic Games doesn't come around often, and some people go throughout their whole athletic life and don't get the chance to go. So I didn't want to regret anything. I was confident enough in my riding and my team that we could make it to the Games and compete. So, came home, did intense rehab, came back on snow 9 months later, did my first comp, and then did my ACL again. So that was, it was already a hard rehab as it was. And then to do it again, I just watched 9 months of hard work go down the drain. And when I say hard work, it was every day was rehab. So rehabbing Monday to Sunday, 5 times a day, icing my leg, making sure I have a very intense and thorough rehab so I can get back as soon as possible. So, second time round, came back for a scope, and then did another intense rehab, and I had to compete without an ACL because 2 months isn't enough time to do the whole knee reco again. So I had to do it. I didn't want to regret it. Like, it's... And I knew I could do it. I was confident enough in myself that I could do it.
No, that's great. Yeah, regrets. I think that's one of the things that people don't want to have in their life. And that's awesome, Belle. So you went through rehab, and then you made a spectacular return in the 2019-2020 season, which just passed. You took home, I think, 5 medals out of the 6 events on tour. I mean, not only that, I believe you finished, the season ranked 2nd in the world, and also led you to becoming, recognised at the 2020 Snow Australia Awards, taking out an Outstanding Achievement Award. So congratulations on that. So what is next for Belle Brockhoff? What is your next mountain to conquer from now?
So 2019 to 20 season was it was a good season. We achieved some really good results. It ended up being my best season yet, finishing 2nd overall, which is unreal, just shy of 1st place. And honestly, I'm happy, but I'm not satisfied, because I know a couple of things that I could have fixed up in my runs would have led me onto the top position every single time. I didn't reach my full potential, and I know I haven't reached my full potential now, and my coach is very excited about that, but we have a lot of hard work to do. So by the time I hang up my boots and feel ready to, I want to achieve my full potential. Which, that's what it is. And it doesn't matter whether it's gold medals, silver medals, bronze medals, not even podium results. Like, if I don't get to that full potential or even ride my very best, then I'm not really satisfied.
That's cool. So now, talking about turning points or point, when you look back at your entire, career and life to date, everything that you have achieved so far, is there one thing that sort of changed everything for you, or is it more like a collection of moments?
I'll keep relating back to the injury, but it was a turning point. It forced me to slow down for 2 years. And during that time, I was able to think, because when you go, you're thinking a bit, but not into deep thought as much, at least for me anyway. And I was able to do that and able to look at all the things that I need to work on. Physically, mentally, as an athlete and as a person as well, and come back quite strong. And my whole thinking changed with competing in snowboarding. It's quite different. And if I had to, go back in time and choose whether I had the injury or not, I'd still take the injury any day, because it's taught me so much. And the main thing it's taught me is patience.
Yeah, wow, that's powerful stuff. So can you please share with us, what do you think has been your biggest improvement or challenge to date? I mean, I'm pretty sure it hasn't been all sunshine and roses.
Probably not panicking mid-race. Because it's so easy. You can see it. You watch racing, and as soon as I describe it to you, you can pick it out. We go down in heats of, it used to be 6 people at the same time. Now it's 4.
Yeah.
And you go down, and the first 2 people who cross the finish line go to the next round. So it's like an elimination heats. And when you're in front, you can actually feel the competitiveness behind you approaching up,
pushing you.
Yeah, you can feel it, and it's crazy. Like, you've got to type it on your back, and it's easy to hunt someone down when they're chased. Like, when you're chasing someone, it's easier than leading. So when someone passes you and you're looking like you're not going to make it, people do panic. And in that moment, you make silly decisions. Then staying in the moment, okay, that's happened, but this is how much time I have left. Like I've made passes 10 meters, 5 meters before the finish line and made it through. You know, it's just being prepared. And when you're prepared, if situation A happens, then you have this plan for it, and you have all these different plans if different things happen. Like, what if this happens? What if this happens? I'll do this. I'll wait here. If I can't pass here, I'll make sure that I can get in position so then when this turn happens, I can pass at that point. So that's something that I haven't really thought about pre-knee injury, but now I have. So it's cool.
That's great. That's great. Now, everyone has their own, sort of definition of success. And so you sort of briefly touched on it a little bit in terms of it doesn't matter if you get a gold, silver, or bronze, or even not a podium finish. But what does sort of success mean to you, and how do you define it in both, your life and business, which in your case, as a professional world-class athlete?
Probably sounding really corny, but happiness, health.
Hey, love it.
Happiness, health. You don't have to be wealthy in terms of money, just enough that, like, if you have bills come in, you're able to pay for them straight away. You have a roof over your head, you have food, you have water, you have good relationships, with family and friends. That's success for me. And, career-wise, like, it's finding something that you love. That's something that is success for me. And when you're passionate about things, then you'll go far. You will. Like, it always happens.
No, that's cool, Pat. Yeah, I totally agree with that. Passion is something that you definitely to have in life, whatever you're doing. So that's awesome. Yeah. So now, in interesting times like this, Belle, what would be your advice or message for our listeners and and those watching? We have an audience from over 90 countries here, and some places are either going through maybe the second and some even a third wave, and lockdown, like we are here in Melbourne. So in general, people are at home, and there's a lot of so-called free time. It's unfortunate, but there's a lot of fear and uncertainty, that's going around. What would you say, is the most important thing people can do right now so they can come out firing in their chosen line of, passion?
There's a couple of things that, like, for me personally, and I can't speak for everyone because I don't know everyone's background and their story and all that stuff. Main things, like, things that I try and stick to make sure that I feel okay and, okay with the future is making sure I have a good diet, good sleep, good health, with exercise. Especially now, like, you want to get outside in the fresh air. If you don't, then naturally you'll get sad. We're meant to be outside, doing, and I know we have that 1 hour restriction, but make most of that 1 hour restriction. Picking up a hobby, learning something. Like my sister, for example, she's picked up the ukulele. Because we've got online. Never played it ever, but she's picked it up because, like she said, Belle, this actually keeps me in the moment. Like right now, I'm focusing on the strings and the chords I need to pluck. Is keeping me in the now. And as soon as people start thinking about the past, the future, the head fucks with you. It does. Having that time out, even if it's 30 minutes, 20 minutes, like just have a crack. And then learn something new, like whether it's to do with like business. Like, for example, I'm just learning about trading shares for the first time. And I'm finding it very exciting, but I have to contain my excitement because it's a hell of a lot of risk as well, especially since it's just up and down. But I'm reading into these companies and I'm learning quite a bit. And I'm also studying commerce, so it kind of goes hand in hand a little bit. That's something that's really helped. Yeah. Out of all of it, it's just to try and be present and try and be productive as much as you can, because you don't want to come out of COVID and think, wow, I just wasted half a year not doing anything, not progressing myself, not learning like meditation or yoga or an instrument, or I don't know, growing herbs. The other day I just had to, do the grouting in my bathroom. I've never done it before, but I thought, you know what, save some money, just have a crack and, just did it. So just stuff like that. Never stop learning, ever, regardless of the virus.
Yeah, that's true. Love it. So the process of continuous improvement. So take note, listeners. So now I just want to quickly bring up, the fantastic volunteer work that you do, Belle, with Lifeline Australia, around mental health. Can you please tell us a little bit more about it? What's involved? I mean, with what's happening now, with COVID, and also, we had the bushfires recently. For those that didn't know, in Australia, I mean, there must be so much, people are going through. And I must say, you're a true snow angel to be helping out and giving back in the way that you are. So can you please just tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so like working with Lifeline second year in a row, which is exciting. And last year we were able to go to different communities and just share our story and make communities feel more connected and show them that and reinforce the fact that there are resources out there if you need it. This year, unfortunately, we haven't been able to do that because of the virus. And what we've been doing is just kind of doing little activations on our social media platforms, because as an athlete, that's all I've got to reach out to people, to my audience. So once in a while, just kind of maybe writing a little post about looking after yourself, getting a good healthy routine in, or reposting things that Lifeline has been promoting. They've got, we've had a mini episode series that we did with the community custodians with Lifeline. So there's about 21 of us, and we decided just to share a skill and connect with people and just get people to be engaged with everyone. So yeah, like it's just creating awareness around it, and that like even athletes, go through mental health issues, and we just want to make sure that everyone feels supported and not to close off the world and feel down. So yeah.
No, so it's fantastic what you're doing there, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people are thanking you on that part. So I guess the next leads on to my next question, Belle. What makes you feel inspired or like your best self? Now, how do you be the best that you can be?
Kind of going back onto like what I said before, is like never stop learning. Like and being confident. If you want to improve on something, or you see someone else that you find very inspiring and you want to do it as well, like you can do it. It's just having confidence in that you can achieve those things, and then kind of mapping out sort of a pathway that you can follow and structure it in a way that you're going to get there eventually. So yeah, having that confidence in learning and knowing that you can.
Yep. Awesome. So what is your legacy, Belle? If you could have a billboard, anything with anything on it, a billboard, what would it be and why?
I'm all for sharing information, and I'm pretty open book. Like if you have even like some of my main competitors would ask me questions about different things on getting better at snowboarding, and I just tell them. Okay. Like I'm pretty open. Like I just think, if they get better, then I'll get better. So it's like selfish reasons.
That's good. You push them, they push you.
Yeah, exactly right. It's good competition. But yeah, I'm all a big support of sharing information and making, things better for everyone. And I'm a strong believer in it's our responsibility, whether anyone likes it or not, that we have to set up the world better than what it is now. We have to set it up better for the next generation. It's always about the next generation. Because if we don't, next generation comes along and we've gone backwards, then we've failed. So for me in my sport, I am mentoring a couple of girls in Australia, which I'm so stoked about. They're like my little babies. And they're so keen to learn, and that's super refreshing. And I just, tell them as much as possible. Not too much where their brain's like mind-blowing, but enough where they, excel. And by the time I'm hanging up my boots, I want them to be able to beat me on track. I really do. And I want them to achieve more than I have, because they can,
Oh, that must be really fulfilling to be able to mentor someone to basically being like a sensei, and then with the student, and hopefully the student sort of gets better than the sensei as they grow. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'll always train hard and do my very best, and I won't let them beat me by easily. I'll go hard. But if they can keep building on what Australian border cross has done, then that's awesome.
That's cool. So just got a couple of fun questions now, Belle. With cabin fever sort of building around the world, where will your next holiday destination be, and why?
So I grew up in I do want to go to places where I haven't been before. But one place that I want to go back to after lockdown and everything's safe is Byron Bay, because I've got a lot of childhood friends up there and family friends, and I haven't seen them in a long time. So yeah, and then I don't know, Cambodia, somewhere. It's nice. Somewhere warm with beaches and places I can go surfing, because I do hate the cold, funny enough, as a snowboarder. And I do love...
That's an interesting fact. Snowboarder that doesn't like the cold.
You can't tell me that someone loves negative 20-degree weather. It is freezing. It's so cold. I always sit there and I'm all rugged up, and I feel the cold more than the boys. And I'm just there with arms crossed, all bundled up, and I look at my coach and I'm like, I hate this. This is shit. It's so cold, But once you get moving, it's okay.
That's cool. So, what is the one thing that we'll always find in your backpack? When you go traveling, either on comps or on vacation. And what would you say is your biggest challenge you face when traveling, when you go on comps?
What's in my backpack?
Yeah.
In terms of any sort of gear or anything?
Something that you always have. Yeah.
My camera. I love photography. I really do.
Like the big ones, or the big SLRs, or
the mirrorless cameras. Mirrorless cameras. And I've got a 16 to 35 mil camera lens, an f2.8. So it's really nice lens. And I just love taking pics. My coach loves taking photos as well. So, when we have downtime, we go for a walk, we take our cameras and start taking shots and see how creative we can get. So it's really cool. We get to see some amazing places. I'm so lucky to be able to do what I can and travel the world and see some amazing things. So I thought I may as well document it.
That's most definitely. Now, what superpower do you wish you had, Belle, and why?
Oh, maybe somehow to predict the share stock exchange. I don't know. If it can help, I'm really big on helping people who are less fortunate.
Oh, that's great. Yeah.
I don't know, something to do with that.
That's cool.
Yeah, whether it's solving world poverty or climate change or whatever it may be, just anything that kind of helps everything whole. But specifically, I don't know, like flying.
That's cool. That's cool.
Just, if people want to be specific, like the point, like
it's open book. It's anything you want to be. So no, that's fantastic. Now we have to work towards wrapping up, Belle, and super mindful of your time. Fantastic chat, and really appreciate your honesty and willingness to openly share. It'd be totally awesome to see you on the slopes one day. Maybe just grab a coffee or something. But we're so different levels. It's
that's all right.
Just two. Yeah, no, it's cool. It's cool. Two last questions. First is, where can people find out more about yourself or follow your journey?
So I'm really active on Instagram. Less so on Twitter. I follow that for the my political updates. But I'm active on Instagram most of the time. And as far as like my website goes, it's bellebrockhoff.com. So I have my bio on there and a little bit of about me sort of thing.
Sure.
But yeah, like that's.
No worries. I'll put some links at the end for those people who want to follow you and check your progress. And secondly, what parting words of wisdom would you like to share for anyone watching or listening? I'd
say stay calm, keep learning,
good one.
And be kind no matter what. And from that, like, always assume that people are having the worst day ever.
Yep.
Because if you come in that way, then you're going to be, I guess, empathetic to them, better understanding to other people, because there's so much shit going on. So, yeah.
That's cool. Totally incredible drive and passion that you have, Belle. So I'd just like to say thanks again and truly appreciate your time. Stay well, stay safe, and take care.
Thank you. You too.
All right, guys. I hope you've enjoyed this interview. You can find me at turn-x.com and also at social media at iam.tacklee. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. If you're enjoying this podcast, please do make sure you subscribe and take a minute to leave us a review. Thank you. YOLO, it's our show. There's one thing we know with all our cargo.